Mic check. Mic. We're good. We're good. What's up? What is up, guys? Happy Monday. Victory Monday. Here on a Victory Monday. Taking your questions, comments, calls as well. I'll open up the line. Taking your calls. 843-790-3377. I think it actually, let's see. Yeah, it actually is open. I guess I forgot to cut it on Do Not Disturb. So yeah, phone line is open if you want to call in. Give me 1 second. Things might be running kind of slow because I'm exporting a video at the same time I'm doing this, which is not a not a very smart play by my part, but we had to get it exported. So hope you're all doing well here on this Monday. Again, Victory Monday. Things are a little they're a lot better when you win, right? Like Will Muschamp said. So I apologize if the podcast this morning, if you did tune into it, I apologize if I sounded scatterbrained and all over the place. Honestly, it was just more of a celebration victory podcast. Feels good, though. Feels good to be talking to you guys here on a Monday. Obviously, Gamecocks get the win 30-22. Feels great to be talking here after the W. I mean, it's a blast. It's a blast to be talking to you right now. Yeah, Atlanta, I don't know why God hates the city of Atlanta, but I think he does. So I don't really understand what the deal is with Atlanta sports, and I don't who they made upset. But yeah, Braves up 3-1. Don't even really want to talk about it, man. I was nervous as hell going in the game of the Braves last night. I was very, very nervous, and sure enough, look what happened. So Philip Carter Harris, what's up? Todd Smith, what's up? Will Collins, what's up? Yeah, beat LSU. Big week. LSU week. Big week. Obviously, I'll break down LSU, break down the Tigers later this week, but very big week. Also, have a very, very, very special surprise for you guys later this week that I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not even going to give any clues. I will say it's not anything like a special guest or anything like that or whatever, even though we're going to have great guests this week. Didn't have a guest on the podcast today because my guy that I was going to talk to yesterday had some stuff come up, had to reschedule. So we're actually chatting today, but got a big surprise this week. Got a big surprise later this week. I think you guys are going to be very surprised. So that's all I'm going to say about that. You'll just have to wait and see. John Rice, what's up, John? What's going on? Tanner Poor says the Braves choked. Yeah, I mean, up 3-1. Up 3-1. I really didn't feel good about it after you got it to game 7. Max Fried lose. I mean, it just, that's when you got your ace on the mound, that's the game you got to win. So Scott says, I think we have a great chance against LSU. We're the underdog already, but I think we have a better than good chance, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, Gamecocks, listen, being a 7-point underdog, being the touchdown dog, doesn't surprise me. Not really surprising. You got to go, and again, I know it's 20% capacity and all that jazz, but you've got to go to Baton Rouge at night and play LSU, who's had a couple of weeks now to get ready for you. That's a tall task for anybody, not just South Carolina, but that's a tall task for anybody. So, it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, I think LSU, they've had their issues, lost to Missouri, whatever, lost a ton on their team last year, as we all know, but they've still got a ton of talent. So it's going to be a challenge for South Carolina. There's no question it's going to be a challenge. But I'm excited, though, man. Huge opportunity yet again. We'll see what they can do with it. Let's see. Christopher Anu, I think after watching this weekend, that all games on our schedule are winnable, especially since Georgia is coming to the cockpit. I would say when you look at the schedule, 6 games left, I think 5 of the 6 are truly toss-up games. I would still throw Georgia in the loss category. I just think, listen, the Dogs, I know they're coming to South Carolina, but you beat them last year, and I don't think, the second to last week of the season, Georgia has high, aspirations of a national championship. I don't think Georgia's going to sleepwalk through that game in Columbia. So, I mean, it's always a good game when Georgia and South Carolina play. So I'm not saying South Carolina can't win the football game, but I would probably put that as a loss right now. But, I mean, yeah, I asked this question on Twitter, and I'll ask you guys as well. What do you think as far as, South Carolina this season? How does Saturday's win change your expectation for the win total in this 2020 season? Because I think if I'd have asked this question after the Florida game, most people would have said South Carolina was going to win 2 or 3 games maximum. Now, I think 5 wins, maybe even 6 is certainly on the table. It's very realistic. Again, you got 6 games left. If you can just go 3-3, just split them, you get to 5-5. So, you've still got Ole Miss, Missouri, Kentucky on the schedule. A&M's kind of reeling right now. Georgia's Georgia, yes, but for sure you beat them last year. And this LSU game, who knows? So, yeah, I mean, getting to 500 or better is certainly on the table right now, for sure. Brian Welch, Braves only had 1/5 of what their starting pitching staff should have been. Wait till next year when we have a full starting rotation for a 7-game series. No, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think to myself how much different things would have been if the Braves had Soroka. Like how much different would things have been if the Braves had Soroka? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see that, honestly. But I will say everybody's going to come in at the city of Atlanta. It's cursed. Well, I mean, when you think what the Braves are working with when it comes to their starting rotation, like you're saying, I mean, the Braves overachieved. I mean, there's just no question in my mind they overachieved. But it just sucks to be up 3-1 and lose. You know what I mean? It sucks to be up 3-1 and lose. But bro, the Braves are not going anywhere. They're going to be good for a while. All that young pitching, all those young arms. The only thing that scares me is I know almost for a fact they're not going to be able to re-sign Ozuna. He's going to ask for a stupid amount of money. So, at which he should. I mean, the dude balled out. He made himself a ton of money in the postseason. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's disappointing. But I mean, the Braves had a good year. So, let's see. Thinking 5-5. They say Tyler Noel 5 to 6 wins is a reality now. That this was a big game and the kids are going to be playing with a lot of confidence. Yeah, I agree. I talked about a lot on the podcast that dropped today. Playing with the edge, that confidence, that swagger, that's honestly, that almost impressed me more than anything statistically that happened on the field. Just the way we came out and kicked the door down and took advantage of the opportunity. That's what I was hoping to see out of this team. And that's what they really showed me, to be honest with you. KG True Player said, I'm scared about Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky looked good. Good God. They beat the absolute brakes off of Tennessee, didn't they? My goodness. And we've never played well there. We've never played well in Lexington for whatever reason. So, hopefully you can find a way to pull that one out. But again, there's a lot of football to play before them. A lot of football to play. Christopher knew I felt Auburn was overrated, but I did see a lot of improvement on both sides of the ball for us in the last 6 years. We won't stop Auburn at the end of the game and lose that game in overtime. My thing is going back just to offensively. I mean, that's to me where I've been so pleasantly surprised. And really what you saw from South, because you've looked at the stats, South Carolina was far outgained statistically, for sure. But what you saw on Saturday was a Gamecocks football team that reminded me a lot of the 2017 team in the sense opportunistic. They made Auburn pay for every single mistake. I mean, in the first half alone, you had 14 points off of Bo Nix turnovers. So that was a Gamecocks team that, again, they didn't play their best game. I don't think South Carolina played an A-plus game by any means, but the Gamecocks were opportunistic as hell. They took advantage of every single Auburn mistake. I'll be honest, the game played out very, very much how I thought it would. As far as you get pressure on Bo Nix, you get him rattled, he'll throw it up, he'll put it in tight spots, put it in coverage, whatever. And the Carolina secondary was good enough to make him pay. Obviously, shout out J.C. Horn. And you guys probably, if you listen to the podcast or saw the title, this is today's show was presented to you by J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn built today's podcast, basically. It's a J.C. Horn appreciation podcast today. So, yeah. Let's see. Jaden Harris, Shaw Smith had some incredible plays. Yeah, fantastic day from him. The Instagram caption was legendary. But, yeah, no, I mean, Shaw Smith's a baller, man. He's established himself as a true number 1 wide receiver. It's awesome. No, I mean, he's a great player. T.J. Barnes, or let me see, T.I. Barnes. Give us a true evaluation of our secondary outside of Horn. I mean, I still think there's issues in the secondary. There's no question. I think a guy like Jamie Robinson has had a really sneaky good year. You're not hearing his name called a lot, but he had a sneaky good year. 10 still concerns me in the back end of the defense. There's no question. I mean, JC's an elite player, All-American caliber. Izzy, when he's playing, he's healthy, is still Izzy. He's still a very, very solid defensive back for sure. Again, it's not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is an elite back end of the defense. Let me put it this way. Going in this game, I don't think LSU will make the same mistake that Auburn did, which is I cannot believe they kept going at J.C. Horn. Like, I can't believe they thought that was a good idea. I mean, I know you want to get the ball to Seth Williams, and he's your playmaker and all that, but at some point, you got to just tip your cap and be like, hey, this is J.C. Horn's day. Like, we don't need to keep targeting him over and over and over and over again. So, I mean, I still say, it's not perfect. There are some leaks in the back end of the defense, for sure. But, you got to feel your top two guys in JC and Izzy are as good as any top two, I think, in the conference. So you got to feel good about those guys. But listen, it's not perfect. There's still some issues in the back end, for sure. So, yeah, and then John Dixon. Yeah, for sure. John Dixon has been a really nice surprise to me, has really come on. So I actually think it's getting better. But what you saw, I thought, on Saturday, the secondary played really well. They also benefited from a front seven that was able to get in Bo Nix's face. That was a huge key to that game. If you were just to if you let Bo Nix sit back there and just have all day to throw and you couldn't get pressure, it would have been a long day. But again, a secondary's best friend is a great pass rush. So that's going to be a key for South Carolina going throughout the entire season. You look at this LSU game, you got to be able to get pressure on Miles Brennan, make him make throws under duress. And again, it's simple, but it really is a key for this defense because, again, you let a guy sit back there all day. Yes, you've got really good players in the secondary, but any quarterback's going to pick you apart if he's got 5 to 6 seconds to throw the football. So you got to get pressure. But overall, just happy for the defense, man. Happy for J.C. Horn. Finally gets that monkey off his back with the interceptions. Finally. We don't have to keep talking about that. So, yeah, and then Shiloh Sanders. Donnie Cunningham says, think Shiloh has supplanted himself as a legit starter going forward. He lays the wood. Yeah, again, he's not a perfect player, I would say, but he's been flying around. He embraces contact for sure. I like Shiloh a lot at that safety position. Colin McMahon 241. Chances we win out except Georgia. I don't think you're going to win 5 of your last 6. I mean, that'd be incredible. I mean, obviously, I'd love for that to happen, but realistically, I don't think you win out. Nah, let's again, Auburn's a very big win. I think that's a little bit of an overreaction to that Auburn win. So, Tanner Poor, this is probably the best defense we've had in the Muschamp era. Again, not overreacting to one game. I still say you've got to give that 2017 defense their due. I mean, what they did as far as the turnover margin and stuff like that. So, again, there's a full season left. So, I mean, it could turn out to be that way. Right now, I'm not ready to say that quite yet. But no, statistically, I mean, they're doing a great job statistically for sure. Let's see. Jonathan Moffrey, Dixon played well against Schwartz. Yeah, Dixon had a great day. Dixon had a really, really good day. John Dixon had a really good day. KG True player, Tank really surprised me. Tank Bigsby's a good player, man. There's a reason South kind of wanted him. So, Eric Fryer, Jalen got an interception I've been talking about. Yeah, Jalen Dickerson. I mean, that's what I loved about the show that came out today that I recorded yesterday. I really just spent the whole time giving kudos to people. And that's the type of content I want to make. Giving kudos, giving shout-outs, patting people on the back. Jalen Dickerson, man, for everything he's overcome, everything he's had to deal with as far as the injuries and stuff like that. It was awesome to see. It was awesome to see. Well-deserved. Again, he's fought to get on the football field. To see him do that was awesome. By the way, guys, I do want to remind you, because I'm just looking at it right here. I've got it set up in the studio. My friends over at Yardware Signs. Be sure to check out yardwaresigns.com to get your Gamecock sign. You guys probably saw me put up the video on social media. Awesome stuff. So yardwaresigns.com, something every Gamecock fan needs. Every Gamecock fan in your life needs it. Yardwaresigns.com, yardwaresigns.com. Just wanted to plug them because, again, I've got this thing displayed in my studio, and it is sick. I mean, I love it. So go to yardwaresigns.com. Check them out for sure. Let's see. Blake Miles, Lloyd and Harris are going to be great when that comes around. Yeah, no, I still am very happy with Kevin here. I'll tell you this, though. Deshaun Fenwick, he's played well. He's played really well in his limited carries. I've been very happy with the performance Deshaun Fenwick has put up when he's gotten his opportunities. So, Scott Eith, I like the line moves when he turned Jackson turning team to left tackle and one back to the right side. Thought that gave Hill the right combo in time. Thoughts? Yeah, I thought the offensive line played better. Only gave up 1 sack. So certainly I thought they played better. I think the stats show that. Yeah, and I like the combo overall. I mean, Colin Hill, obviously, we know he's not fleet of foot. We know he's not a guy that's going to take off and run for 10, 15 yards. So he needs time to throw. You got to keep them upright. And yeah, I thought the offensive line played well. I thought they did a really good job. So yeah, I think the move that certainly paid off. So Travis Young, do you think we have a shot of upsetting LSU? Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. Neither team is ranked in this game. South Carolina actually got more votes this past week than LSU did in the AP poll. So, yes, it'd be an upset by Vegas standards. I don't think it'd be some massive upset, though. I mean, I think South Carolina certainly has got a chance in this football game. I will say I'm glad we don't have a noon kickoff, but I'll be honest, if there's any game that I wish we had a noon kickoff, it was this one. I mean, I know it's going to be 20% capacity, but still having to go to Baton Rouge and play them at night is a tall task for anybody. I mean, LSU just simply does not lose at home at night. Man, I mean, what a win it would be. You know, if you could beat LSU, be 3-2 at the bye week. I mean, all of a sudden, you're saying to yourself, okay, these are the type of win Will Muschamp needed to have in year 5 to get this thing really going, to get this thing cranked up. And I mean, really, I mean, it's, you know, and again, if you lose LSU, and I said this on the podcast, because now the question is, what do you do with it? You've got a ton of momentum. You've won back-to-back games. You just beat the 15th ranked team in the country at home. And we kind of saw this last year. I want to get to this point in just a second because I don't think last year and this year necessarily are comparable in that way. But you were in a very similar situation last year. You had just beaten number 3 Georgia. You had 6 games remaining. You were at your season's halfway point. The question was, what do you do now? You lost that tough one in Florida with the refs, whatever, and then you got blown out by Tennessee, and from there the wheels sort of fell off. Now the question is, you beat Auburn. You beat the 15th ranked team at home. What do you do with it now? You've got 6 games left. How do you build off of this? I'll say, if you go to LSU and lose, I don't think it's not going to undo what you did against Auburn, but you need to find a way to build off this, to harness this momentum, to play with that edge, and to do something positive with it. You know, like I just said a second ago, I think this situation is different from last year in the sense I think this team is just flat out better than the team we saw last year. That team last year dealt with a ton of injuries, and you had a true freshman quarterback in Ryan Helinski. And again, for whatever reason, once things started going bad, things went really bad really quick. So I like to think with Mike Bobo and the steady hand of Colin Hill, and you've established your identity on offense, I don't think you're going to see that drop off in the last 6 games. I mean, I'd be very shocked if you did. So I don't think you see that. But I will say, even if you lose to LSU, it's not going to undo what you did against Auburn. But now, like I said, the question turns to, okay, what now? So what now what? It's exactly what I said after Georgia last year. So what now what? You beat the 15th ranked team in the country. Now what do you do with that momentum? Now what do you do going on the road, another tough task, another challenge? Because, again, if you can find a way to beat LSU, I mean, again, you're just opening up a world of possibilities for the type of season you can have this year. I mean, you start looking at a 7-win year. I mean, seriously, and I know that sounds crazy. It sounded crazy certainly 2 weeks ago, but you are certainly looking at least a 6-win year, maybe even 7. So you never know, man, but you got to take it 1 week at a time. Obviously, things can change a ton, and it's going to be a tough game, obviously, in Baton Rouge. But, yeah, I'm very excited to see. Can this South Carolina team keep that edge they played with on Saturday against Auburn? Can they keep that and carry that with them week after week after week? That's going to be interesting to see for me. Carolina Titan, great win. We had some great players step up and play to their potential, but we still gave up a ton of yards. People need to chill with the win out for the season comments. Yeah, again, this is still not a perfect football team. There's still things you need to fix. I've been celebrating, obviously. I've been very excited and pumped, and Gamecock fans should feel good on this Monday. You should feel good. We should all feel good. Finally have something to talk about like this. It's a huge win. But, yeah, when you dissect this football game, when you look at the statistics, when you look at how this game played out, this is still an imperfect football team. There are still things you got to fix. There are still issues within this football team. So, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you for sure. So, Tyler Noel, Miles Brennan hasn't shown me much through the first couple of games. I think the same principle applies from last week. Put pressure on him, and I like our chances. Yeah, and again, it's something simple where, yeah, you could say that about basically every game, but I agree with you 100%. You got to get pressure on Miles Brennan. You cannot let him sit back there and pick you apart. So, I think the bigger matchup, and again, I'm going to break down LSU much, much more later in the week, but I think the bigger matchup this week is how does our offense match up against LSU's defense? Because I know they lost a lot, but LSU still has a ton of talent defensively. I know Mizzou was able to go up and down the field on them, but I'm cautious to diss LSU. I still think LSU's got a ton of talent. So Brian Welch Stingley on Shy is going to be electric this Saturday. Going to be a lot of trash talking. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You take on arguably the best defensive back, with all due respect to J.C. Horn, you take on arguably the best defensive back in college football. If they're able to take away Shy, then what do? Because that arguably is going to make you one-dimensional, and you're not going to win this game being one-dimensional. You're just not. So, that's a great question, by the way. You're saying 49-42, and I'm curious, what did the over-under come out? Let's see. Oh, crap. You know what I probably missed? I think the SEC probably put out there. They're all SEC performers. Let's see. SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, Kai Kroger. How about that? How about Kai Kroger getting some love? And J.C. Horn, Offensive Player of the Week. How about that? Yep. Hold on, guys. Sorry, where is... How about the Big Ten coming back this weekend, too? How about it? 60.5 is the over-under. 60.5 is the over-under. That's what I was here. Hold on, guys. I'm just getting this post up. How about old Kai Kroger? What a guy. What a legend. Sorry, guys. Just making this post. Let's see. Tyler Logan, JC and Shy both need to chill with yapping. Going to end up costing us in a close key game at some point. Don't mind playing confidently and all, but there's a fine line. All right, here's, and I actually made a clip that I'm going to post later today on social media about that. So I understand what you're saying, because I was talking to a buddy about this. I definitely understand what you're saying. You have to be able to control your emotions, because you don't want it to cost you, especially when you look at a guy like Shi Smith. It's like, bro, you are our only offense. You're our most important offensive weapon. Like we cannot have you getting ejected or thrown out of a game or whatever. And obviously, again, getting a 15-yard penalty would be awful. Like you don't want that to happen. What I will say though is, when I talked to DJ Swearinger last week, and you're thinking to yourself, man, we haven't had guys like DJ Swearinger in so long with that attitude and that swagger. Like, so to see guys have that edge about them, again, I agree with you. You don't want to get carried away, get a penalty, get thrown out of a game. But I love it. I love to see that intensity, that swagger, that edge. Again, it's something we haven't seen in so long. So I can live with it. I really can. I can live with it. Again, you've got to be smart about it. No question. You have to be smart about it. But it's like Will Muschamp said before. You'd rather have a bunch of guys got to tell whoa than tell giddy up. And I think that is a good problem for South Carolina to have. To see the Gamecocks playing with that edge, playing with that confidence, playing with that swagger, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Of course, there's a line. There is certainly a line for sure. And you cannot cross it. And I would certainly, and I'm sure they do, remind those guys of that. Control your emotions, channel that into playing good football. But I love seeing that mentality, that swagger. Darn it. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm just making these graphics for social media. Taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377, guys. If you do want to call in, be more than happy to take your questions, obviously, here on a Victory Monday. Very, very excited. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're good. All right, sorry about that. Let's see. We got our swag. I think I got my swagger back. We got our swagger back. Let's see. Okay. There's a line. I agree. BArbs 3_. Do you think we should be ranked? I think it's a little bit early for that. Go beat LSU 100%. Think you should be ranked. But hey, 2-2. We still got a lot to prove. We got some votes, cool, whatever, but let's build off of it. Let's see. Tyler Logan says, yes, talk your shit, point at the scoreboard. My thing is we have a defense that can stand behind a 15-yard penalty now, puts it on edge with the defense still making progress. All I'm saying, we need more swag flu, as DJ would say. Yeah. So like I said, there's a line. You can't cross it. You don't want to hurt your football team because you're talking shit and you want to jaw and all that. But again, I like the edge. Because watching that game against Auburn, I thought South Carolina was the more aggressive team. I thought they had the edge mentally, everything. I thought every game has a tone, has a tempo, has a pace. I think that South Carolina had that edge. I thought they set the tone in the football game. And I like to see that. Again, you don't want to get a 15-yard penalty. And obviously, if you're Shi Smith, it's like, bro, I don't want to see you get in a fight and get thrown out of a football game. But I loved it. I love the chippiness. I love the chirping. It's like, it just feels good to see a Carolina football team have that edge again. It's been so long. Like, just have that edge. I think if they carry that with them, week after week after week, again, got to be smart. But if you carry that week after week, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of games this year. Seriously. Taylor Sykes, what do you let me see. Go back. What do you think of the LSU defense to our offense? Think we'll be more successful to me if we don't, then something wrong. Their defense is god-awful. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a higher scoring game for sure. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. You got to be able to get creative and get Shi Smith open in space because Derek Stingley will be on him all game long. So, yeah, you got to find a way to get the ball to Shi Smith. Get creative with it. Let's see. Tony Stockman, I would like for Carolina to make a statement against LSU, but I really would like to see Carolina beat Texas A&M. Got to get Doty and Joyner in the offense to try to come up with different offensive approach. Give the other defenses something they haven't seen yet. Defense need to just keep bending and not break. Enjoy your show. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I still don't know why Dak Joyner doesn't touch the football more. He touched it once on Saturday, I think, and got like a 15-yard gain. It's like you would think it's just common sense at this point. But yeah, out of the two, LSU and A&M, which one is more of a must-win? I would certainly say A&M. Like, just breaking that ugly streak, getting that monkey off your back, per se, I think it's important for the program. You don't ever want to have a 6 or 7 or whatever game losing streak to anybody. So, yeah, I would say that's the more important of the two. But, hell, why not win both? Why not? Let's see. Cody Gaskins, if we go to LSU at night and get the W, do you believe this will be the biggest W of the season, even when Georgia coming to play us at home, we somehow win? I don't know. I think still probably beating Georgia. I mean, it just as far as the rankings, I mean, that would be a bigger win per se. But it'd be a huge win no matter what. I mean, we can split hairs at that point if you beat them both, but it would be a huge win if you beat LSU. There's no question. Justin Bell, I still haven't had Raising Canes. I'll have to get that. I'll have to get that for sure. Taylor's like, I think we can win out, to be honest. We've looked better and more better than the most teams we've left. Again, I don't want to overreact to Auburn. I say winning out is asking a little much. As unpredictable as 2020 is, I wouldn't say that. But, again, it looks like this team is getting better week to week. And obviously, pretty much all the teams South Carolina plays that they have left have issues. So, for sure. I mean, it's how different things look after Auburn, which is how they looked after Florida. I mean, just how different they look for sure. Ryan Welch, I really think seeing LSU match up with Florida would have helped us tons as film study and strategy wise. I really think that them seeing us against Auburn and them being at home is the only advantages they have on us. I really believe we have more talent than they do this year. I would not go as far as to say that. They're still very. I don't know. I'm not. You're not going to hear me this week saying, "Oh, LSU stinks." They're not talented. Like I don't believe that. I know that they've lost a lot and they've got issues, but I think LSU's not talented. I'm not going to be the guy that says that. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously them being off, having time to prepare and whatever, and obviously I know it wasn't, they're doing. It wasn't necessarily their doing or that they wanted that to happen, but yeah, I mean, it's certainly you probably think it's going to help them out a little bit. So. Hunter Brown, will Brooks get cleared this year, bro? I'm not holding my breath. The NCAA hates us for some reason, whatever. I'm not holding my breath when it comes to it. Peyton Ledwell, any chance of an LSU upset? Yeah, it's absolutely, dude. There's certainly a chance. Like Carolina's not going in this game with no chance. Yeah, absolutely. Gamecocks have a chance this football game, no doubt. Blake Miles, looking at other SEC games, we have what's the challenge other than the UGA and A&M, considering looking at how other teams are playing. Again, I know other teams have not played great. And I would say I'm chalking up Georgia as a loss right now. Every other game to me is a toss-up. Every other game is a toss-up. So, yeah, South Carolina's a chance basically in every game they play left. I mean, again, I'm chalking Georgia as a loss, but you never know. Hell, you beat them last year. I would say this Auburn win is great. Don't overreact, just in the sense of it's 2020. Teams are very up and down. Things change so quickly in college football. Don't take anyone lightly that you have on the schedule. I'm not saying don't crown them. Don't crown them by any means, but don't take anybody lightly either. You know what I'm saying? So there's still a lot of football to be played. A lot of football to be played for sure. So. Eric Pryor, the difference is this team now believes they can win every game on the schedule. I mean, dude, yeah, for sure. I mean, I love that. I'm hoping, again, you're going to take that edge you had for the Auburn game and keep that in every single football game. And, it's like I talked on when I went on Fade with Eric Kimry. And I said, this team reminds me of a really great hitter that's maybe in a little bit of a slump. What comes first, success or confidence? Because when you succeed, you gain confidence. But in order to be successful, you have to first be confident. So now I thought you saw a team on Saturday that looked very confident to me, and it paid off, and you had success. And now hopefully we see that snowball. I mean, this should be an extremely confident team going to LSU. Extremely. For sure. I agree with you 110%. So, and I guess there won't be any kickoff times announced for our games. Let's see. Yeah, so they announced week 6 kickoff times. We're off. That is our bye week, so there is no new kickoff time today. Andy Hansen, the swagger and the win are great, but I need to see Muschamp string together some wins before I buy into his system. I've been a Gamecock fan since the 80s and would like nothing more than for Muschamp to succeed. Bro, yeah, I'm basically on the same boat as you. Because everybody loves to always ask me after we get a win like this, it's like, oh, what are your feelings on Muschamp? Again, I criticize, but I'm the first to tip my cap as well. Like, major kudos to Muschamp and Bobo and the second half adjustments we've seen week after week. What do you do with it now? Again, you beat Georgia last year and you had a great win. And again, I think there's a ton of reasons to point to why that won't be the case this year as far as finishing up the season the way you did last year. Like, I don't see that happening again. But again, the question is now, what do you do with it? Now, what do you do with it? Can you build off of it? Just because you get one win, it's not like, oh, all is great. But this is a great step. Again, this is a win you had to have at home. You beat a top 15 team. That's a big deal. That's a very, very big deal. So I'm still wait and see. Again, I still don't think that Muschamp is the guy to probably get us to Atlanta. Which, listen, some people might scoff at that. Oh, my God, if the goal is not to get to Atlanta, then what's the point? I mean, honestly, what is the point? So I still don't think he's necessarily that guy. I'd love to be proven wrong. And the first step in doing that is, like I said before the season, getting to 5-5 or better in 2020. That is the first step. And beating Auburn was the first step in achieving that as well. So kudos to Muschamp. Kudos to the coaching staff for sure. Huge win on Saturday. Tyler Knoll, there has to be an emphasis on getting Dak the ball this week, and I feel like Josh Van has been coming on and needs to get more targets this week. Yeah, I mean, dude, I'd love to see Van get more targets and take advantage of them. I mean, shoot, we need another guy. We need another weapon on the outside. As far as Dak Joyner touching the ball, I agree with you. I'd love to see Dak get it. Again, I'm not saying he should touch it 9-10 times a game, but 3, 4, 5 times when the guy has athleticism, obviously. So that is a good point. We won't know a kickoff time either because the A&M game's already been set. Yes, 7:30 kickoff at home, by the way. Blind Squirrel Sports, love my dogs, but I hope y'all smoke LSU. But we hope we smoke LSU too. I appreciate that. Christian Carter, with the exception of Vandy last week, that was the best performance I've seen from us in a while. Yeah. I mean, fantastic. Again, you look at the stat sheet, it wasn't the prettiest, but the biggest difference was the Gamecocks took advantage of their opportunities. They made Auburn pay for their mistakes, for sure. That was the big difference, I thought. So, Blind Squirrel Sports, what are your thoughts on Kirby Smart's inability to win big games? Well, the ones he's lost has been to Alabama. You know what I mean? And I just – it's not easy to beat Alabama. Like, I honestly, this is how honestly, Blind Squirrel Sports, great question. Before the season would win the SEC, and I thought they would lose to Bama in the regular season, but I think they're going to get their – or I thought they were going to get their revenge in Atlanta against Alabama. Now, I don't think Stetson Bennett's the quarterback that will do that, but I think Georgia's good enough to beat Alabama, no question. I think probably you need to go with JT Daniels. And Stetson Bennett has been a really nice story for Georgia and all that good stuff, but I don't think he's the quarterback that's going to beat Alabama. So, what happens with Georgia, we'll see. But Georgia's a very good football team. Like, what are you going to do? Fire Kirby Smart? I mean, what has he been there? 3 years, 4 years? I mean, what are you going to do? Fire him? Like, really? No. So, I mean, I think Kirby's a good coach. You lost to Alabama at Alabama. Like, a lot of teams would lose to Alabama at Alabama. So, Philip Carter Harris, unfortunately, there's no evidence that Muschamp can convert a big win to future wins. Look at last year for Georgia. I hope I'm wrong and we went out, but I'm very skeptical. Again, yeah, and it's one of those things I said last week, right? Or I said last year, excuse me. But I talked about the similarities between the Georgia win last year and this Auburn win this year. In that, after the Georgia win, I said, okay, if you lose to Florida and Tennessee, you basically undo everything you did in Athens. Like, you didn't build off it. You didn't take advantage of the opportunity. You've got to win at least one of those next two. Hold on, what, Lindsay? How do you feel about Tennessee letting go of their coach? What coach? I know they didn't fire Pruitt. Please explain what you're talking about. Anyways, I talked about Listen, if you go on the road and lose to LSU, you don't undo what you did against Auburn. You don't, especially if you show up, you play well. It's a hard-fought game back and forth. But I agree, you can't finish up 1-5 like you did last year. You can't finish up 1-5 like you did last year. You be able to build off this. Oh, their D-line coach. Oh, okay, I was like, what are you talking about? D-line coach, got you. Okay. Anyways. Carolina Titan folks keep asking when they're going to see Olinsky, but UGA could have beaten Bama if they had Colin Hill. Fair. Honestly, fair. Blake Miles, do you think the strength coordinator had enough time to install his type of training yet? I'm thinking so far, even though it's just 4 games in, we aren't seeing the amount of injuries as last year. Yeah, it does seem like we're not seeing the injury, which is obviously a welcome sight for Gamecock fans, for sure. Yeah, we're certainly not seeing the injuries at the key positions like we've seen the last couple of years, which again is a welcome change for sure. Christian Carter, this being a weird year with the virus, can you make a bowl game at 5-5? Yeah, so everybody's bowl eligible, actually. So, yeah, for sure. Carter Brand, Tank Bigsby or Kevin Harris? I mean, I got to side with my guy, Kevin Harris. Got to side with Kevin Harris. Let's see. Michael Castelline, honestly, I feel as though last year versus Georgia, the stats we had were unrealistic and not balanced. This year, things are different. We're seeing changes at halftime. Yeah, that Georgia win felt like a little bit of smoke and mirrors, to be honest with you. It was a game where it felt like, I hate to say this, Georgia kind of gave it to you, though. They sort of handed it to you on a silver platter. This one, it feels like you took this one from Auburn. You took it from them. So, Hunter Brown, we're not going to talk about Harris busting another 80-yard run. And the holding, screw that. That bullshit. No, that was a great run. No, I mean, Harris is a really good player, man. I like what I'm seeing from Harris a lot. So, B Toms 007. Thoughts on seeing fullbacks being used again out of the backfield? Reminds me of Pat DeMarco days. Yeah, dude, he's like Pat DeMarco 2.0. Had some great blocks, by the way. He had a great game. Prentice had a great game on Saturday. KD True Player, the bus, indeed. Blind Squirrel Sports says without Kirby Smart, the discussion never happens. I just want Georgia to man up and beat the Tide, and that will happen when Kirby Smart finds a way to outcoach his mentor. Until then, ... Yeah, I mean that's the question. I mean that's the question everybody has, or that's the problem. Nick Saban is everybody's problem. Everybody's trying to find out how to beat him. That's the whole thing. Georgia's not alone in that. So, Jonathan Boatwright, likelihood Mook plays at LSU since he is a Louisiana native. I mean, I'm sure he will do everything in his power to be on the field. I would assume he will do everything in his power to be on the field this weekend. Carolina Titan, let's give Adam Prentice credit. He had a huge blocking catch. Yeah, again, fantastic game from Adam Prentice for sure. A lot of guys had good games Saturday. Ton of them. Total team effort. Total team win for sure. H-Man 9-8, good win for us. Kevin Harris to beat. We have a shot at LSU. I agree. I'm very excited. We have a shot at LSU, no question. Jonathan Moffrey, is it just me or do all SEC officials try and protect the good SEC teams? It certainly seems like sometimes we're playing against the low. It's just unbelievable. Some of the calls are just ridiculous, to be honest with you. It definitely, certainly sometimes feel like we're playing against the logo. So, no, I totally agree with you. Trust me. So. Taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. Whatever it is, Victory Monday here. Talking about South Carolina's big win over Auburn. Feels good. Feels good to talk to you guys on a Monday. Again, if you listened, which I'm assuming a lot of you do, if you listen to the podcast that dropped today, apologize if I was a little scatterbrained. Just honestly, just so excited, celebrating the W with you all. And also apologize, no guest interview today. was supposed to do the interview yesterday. He had some stuff coming up. We're actually doing it today, so you will hear that interview on Thursday, which is a very, very good interview. Actually, a guy that played with DJ Swearinger, so I'm excited for that to drop. But, yeah, for sure. Just a great Monday, man. It's, nothing like waking up on a Monday and your favorite team won over the weekend. It makes, again, like what Muschamp says, winning makes everything better. It makes everything better. So feeling really good about it. Jonathan Boatwright, Chris, did you see Derek Stingley give J.C. Horn a shout-out for his performance against Auburn? I did not see that, but that is awesome game, respect game for sure. B-Toms 007, Shiloh Sanders want to be the mainstay at safety for the future, or is he in the running to be the cornerback? I like him at safety. I think he could probably play anywhere, but I like him at safety. So, Phil Carter Harris, I bet on Carolina with spread over under money line this morning against LSU. Let it roll, baby. Let's go. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. Jonathan Boatwright, Buffalo Bills or Kansas City Chiefs at 5. I forgot they played at 5 today. That's insane. I got to go with the Chiefs. Yeah, Chiefs are nasty. Jonathan Moffrey, we need a petition to get you an interview. Dude, I've had Garcia on my show twice. So I definitely want to get him back on, but I've had Steven Garcia on the show twice now. So, yeah, Garcia is an awesome conversation. Awesome interview. Let's see. Eric Fryer, Mullins would have had a big reception, not for the pass interference call. We still got a first down, but I think with his size and range, he could be a great slot option. Yeah, I agree. Again, it's still continuing to find those weapons outside of Shi Smith. So, for sure. Let's see. Michael Castellan, I see our D-line coming up huge against LSU this weekend. Their quarterback isn't very mobile. No, he's not mobile. I don't see Miles Brennan being a mobile guy either. So, yeah, good win for sure. Good win. So, Jonathan Moffrey, the links as far as for the Steven Garcia show, it's not on YouTube. I think the last time I had Garcia on the pod, let's see. I think it was actually probably fall of 2018. I actually reposted the interview. It is on YouTube. So March 18th, 2020, I reposted that interview that I had with Steven Garcia. So it was one of the best interviews I've ever had, honestly. It was episode 232. If you want to go back and listen to that, that's the Steven Garcia. That's one of the Steven Garcia interviews. So, but yeah, I'm definitely trying to get him back on. Definitely trying to get him back on for sure. Let's see. Each man 9-8. Glad the defense finally made those game-winning plays. Looking forward to seeing the J.C. Horn Terrence Marshall matchup along with Shivers. Yeah, there's going to be some great individual matchups in this game against LSU for sure. Some great individual matchups. Cody Gaskins wasn't able to catch the last 3 quarters of the game. What was your take on Pickens and Birch? I think Pickens, I think both guys continue to play really good football. I like what I'm seeing from Pickens on the inside. This was really the Keir Thomas game that was inside. Keir Thomas had a fantastic day. But Birch, again, a really talented young player. He'll continue to come on. He'll continue to play good football. Just needs to continue to see the field more. I think he's a good player, no question. Blake Miles, would love to see you and Uncle Lou talk football sometime. That would be fun. We might have to make that happen. That would be fun. Travis Royal, what's up, Chris? Great W for us. One thing I would like to point out, though, is we must improve on is opposing quarterbacks getting away from us. Swear I cussed at my TV a boatload of times. Guys with a little scrambling abilities always seem to mess us up historically. Nonetheless, great W moving forward. Yeah, it's tough to keep guys in the pocket. I mean, especially when you got a guy like Bo Nix, who is very mobile. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but getting Bo Nix out of the pocket was something you had to do as far as getting pressure on him, and you saw him make mistakes. So, but I agree with you. You got to contain those guys. You got to find a way to contain them for sure. Blind Squirrel Sports love SEC football, regardless of which team you're for. We as a conference are the best fans in football. Oh, absolutely. Not even close. Yep, not even close. So, again, taking your questions, comments, guys. Got about 10 minutes left. If you haven't done so, check out the podcast. Drop today, episode 299. Hey, episode 300 dropping tomorrow. How about that? Episode 300. Isn't that crazy? 300. Wild. Wow, we made it to 300. But episode 300 tomorrow. But today, podcast dropped this morning, breaking down the entire Auburn game, giving my thoughts, my takeaways, all that good stuff. You guys be sure to check that out. Wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube as well, you can go check it out on there. And I'll be posting a bunch of clips from that also. So really good stuff. Really good stuff here on a Victory Monday. Gamecocks 30-22 winners Saturday over the Auburn Tigers. No better way to sit on a Monday than after a W. So for sure. Philip Carter here's Bo Nix was rolling out of the pocket for no reason. Need more pressure on the quarterback for sure. Bo Nix transformed Jake Bentley. You know, it's funny. I told my buddy Bo Nix looked like a mobile Jake Bentley. That was going to see the kind of game he had. And, you know, it's so funny. I said something about Jake Bentley making a lighthearted joke on Twitter Saturday about Jarrett Garantano doing his best Jake Bentley impersonation. And some people took it so personally, like got so upset. It's like, dude, like, come on, just relax. Relax. Carolina Titan, I'm glad the kids are getting a chance to taste what winning feels like. Winning breeds winning. Yeah, I agree. Again, the biggest question is, what do you need first, confidence or success? And now that you're seeing a confident team get a win and you start to see the results of the hard work, you know, I think, now maybe you can get the ball rolling. Let's see. Like you said, winning breeds winning. I agree. So, H-Man 98 ran a point, but I didn't realize how big of a guy Mac Jones was until I watched the Bama-Georgia game. Yeah, he's a big dude for sure. Eric Fryer, I like Shiloh, but what I saw from him coming down in press coverage in the slot man, the nickel package was eye-opening. I swear I see a lot of his dad, and as he matures, he will only get better. Yeah, Shiloh played great, flying all over the place. He's physical. I like the brand of football he plays for sure. So, Jonathan Boatwright, I was there. My vocal cords are still shredded, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah, it was awesome, man. Had a blast. Had a blast, that's for sure. Travis Orwell, thoughts on the Kentucky win? Kentucky's going to be a problem. Yeah. I agree. I agree with you 100%, man. I think Kentucky is, that's going to be a tough game. And again, that's a ways out for sure. I mean, a lot can change and a lot will change between now and then. But you know, it historically been a really tough place for us to win. So, we'll see. We'll see. And Kentucky's a solid football team. There's no question. Chase Minnick, what scares me is LSU needs that win so bad. I think it's a bad week playing them, especially coming off a big win. Does that scare you? Doesn't necessarily scare me, but it's certainly something coming in that game that, LSU is going to be a desperate football team playing at home at night. There's no question that's going to pose its challenges. But, I think South Carolina coming in, like I said, can they keep that edge? Can they continue to play with that edge they played within the Auburn game and the Vanderbilt game? It's going to be a fun matchup to watch, I think, man. I think it's going to be a really, really fun matchup to watch. So between two teams, I would say, that need the win, that really want the win. So, it's going to come down to the simple things, execution, which team makes less mistakes, all that coach speak type stuff. But that's what it's going to come down to. So, Philip Carter Harris, can't believe Chad Morris had Nix targeting Williams when JC was covering him all day. Yeah, I mean, baffling. It truly is baffling. I understand you want to go to Seth Williams. He's your best player. But like, at some point, you got to tip your cap, man, and say, okay, bro, this is not a good idea. So I'm glad he did, though. Appreciate it. We will all we'll all take it for sure. Michael Driggers, 35-28 Gamecocks. I'd love to see it. Love to see it. Could certainly happen. Jonathan Moffitt, I remember last week I made a comment saying the top defenses other than Georgia are Arkansas, Kentucky, and South Carolina. I mean, dude, yeah. The Gamecocks, what they're doing defensively, didn't have their best day on third down, but as far as just being opportunistic, that was on full display Saturday. Being opportunistic. That was the big thing. That's what I was happy to see. So. Taking your questions, comments, guys, before we wrap up here on a Monday. Again, it feels good talking to you guys on a Monday after the Gamecocks get the W. These are always more fun after a win, for sure. I know you all agree. Again, we'll take a couple more questions. Got about 5 minutes, like I said. If you haven't done so, like I said, check out the podcast. Also, this Saturday, we are doing a watch party yet again, Overtime Bar and Grill. Be sure to go out to Overtime, check out the game. Doors will open, I would say 5 o'clock. Kickoff at 7. Gonna be a good time. It was rowdy. I mean, it was rowdy on Saturday for the Auburn game for sure. So appreciate those that came out, by the way. I said it once on the show. I'll say it again, though. Thank you to everyone that supports and that came out and, yeah, made it a blast. Really, you guys made it a blast for sure. So, yeah. But I'm excited, and overall, again, this Auburn win was huge. We stressed the importance about it all last week, but it was huge to get the W. And now, again, the question turns to, okay, what do you do with it? Can you build off of this? And like I said, if you lose to LSU on the road at their place at night, it's not going to be, oh my God, like, you know, that Auburn win means nothing. No, but I'm a siren going off outside. I'm more intrigued as to see what now can South Carolina do with this. How can they use this win to propel themselves and build off of it? You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, I'm sure it's a great week in the building this week, but you got to lock in and focus because LSU is going to be its own big challenge for sure. H-Man 998, I want to give some props to Fenwick. He seems to run really well when he comes in to relieve Kevin. We've got 2 backs. Yeah, dude, again, I said it on the show. Deshaun Fenwick played fantastic football. I mean, every time he's come in, he's done a really nice – there's a drop-off, in my opinion, when Fenwick comes in. He's done a really, really good job. It should definitely not be it should not – you know, he needs to be recognized for the way he's played. So, props to Deshaun Fenwick. He's done really, really well. Travis Rell, season definitely back on track. Let's go get the W on the road. Yeah, again, huge opportunity. I mean, every game you win, the bigger the games get. So, you know, I'm not going to keep saying, oh, it's a big game. But if you keep winning, the games are going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, Carolina Titan running back room seems secure for upcoming years. Yeah, I mean, just imagine this running back room when Marshawn Lloyd gets healthy. It's going to be crazy. So, Keith Ryan Elliott might get blasted, but Shiloh reminded me a little of Swearinger, sat with the energy and laying the wood. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I don't know if DJ Swearinger's comments reached the guys in the secondary or reached the football program or what have you, but man, I loved what I saw. I loved what I saw on Saturday for sure. So, Blake Miles, how confusing is it thinking about the Kentucky game and them smoking Tennessee? I mean, it's, again, 2020 is crazy, man. It goes week to week. It's unpredictable. It's wacky, but yeah, I mean, it's 2020 is just wild, man. There's no way to put it. So, Tyler Noel, we have to continue to build off this momentum. I'm very interested to see how they come out and play after this W. I don't want to see them play so flat. I'm cautiously optimistic about this week. I think you'll see the team come out inspired. I mean, dude, again, if you can't get fired up to play in a game in Baton Rouge, you just genuinely have no pulse. Like I said, I know it's only 20% capacity, but I imagine Baton Rouge will be rocking. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere for college football. I haven't checked the weather report or anything like that, but I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic time, which I'm going to do that right now here in this last minute. Let's go. Let's see, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. What's the weather going to look like? Saturday, high of 85, low of 64. A little bit cloudy, but yeah, it should be a great day for football. So, wrapping up here, guys, we've got under a minute. Appreciate you all tuning in. If you have not done so, go check out the podcast that dropped today. Episode 299 came out. Really just celebrating the win with you guys. I mean, celebrating the win, breaking everything down, though, looking ahead. Can South Carolina build off of this? What does this mean for the rest of this season? Your questions, your listener questions, voicemails, all that good stuff. But go check out the podcast if you haven't done so. Also, quick reminder, watch party Saturday, Overtime Bar and Grill, right down the road from Williams-Brice Stadium. It's a road game. So if you're in the city, I know you need a spot to watch the game. Going out to Overtime Bar and Grill. Doors will open at 5. Kickoff will be at 7. Should be a really good time, especially with a night game. I expect it to be really rowdy. But guys, appreciate you all tuning in here on this Victory Monday. You guys have made the Daily Crow a huge success, by the way. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate you all tuning in. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much.